Okay, let's unpack this one. Today we're diving into a story that it starts off as this high-stakes business proposal, but then it just takes this immediate, like, deeply personal turn.
Yeah, it's fascinating. We've got this story, and our mission really is to peel back all those layers, try to figure out the why behind some, let's be honest, pretty unconventional choices.
Right, and extract those insights about, human connection when people are under some extraordinary pressure.
What's really intriguing here is how one person's goal, just trying to help her family, ends up uncovering all this profound personal trauma. And you see the ripple effects of past decisions, not just on one person, but like across generations.
So we're going beyond just the what happened.
Exactly. We're looking at why it mattered and what surprising truths pop up about vulnerability and maybe even unexpected love.
Okay, get ready for some real aha moments, I think, because this deep dive is it's definitely not ordinary. You'll see how even these really calculated beginnings can sometimes lead to, well, really profound connections. So our story, it centers on Colby Wingate. She's driven by this fierce loyalty to her brother, James.
hmm And James, he sacrificed a lot, gave up a Harvard scholarship to raise her after their parents died tragically.
Yeah, poured his life savings into Wingate Cosmetics. He even developed this unique perfume for Colby called Colby. Lost his chemistry job because he wouldn't give up the formula's secret ingredients. That's actually what pushed him to start the company.
So it's his life's work, basically.
Totally. But now, Wingate Cosmetics is facing a hostile takeover, a big corporate rival, and Colby is determined, absolutely determined to save it.
And this immediately brings up a key question, doesn't it? Like, how far do you go for family loyalty? Especially when someone sacrificed that much for you.
Hmm.
So Colby's initial plan, it seems straightforward enough. Get a celebrity endorsement.
Right, from the movie star Sterling Hamilton. He's pretty reclusive, known for not doing endorsements. She wants him for a new men's cologne.
Awesome, it's called.
Awesome, right. But here's where it just takes that sharp left turn. Colby flies out to L.A., thinks she's going to pitch the cologne idea to Sterling's attorney, Edward Stewart.
Standard meeting, you'd think.
Exactly. But Edward tells her, nope, Sterling is already quite taken with Wingate Cosmetics. He's ready to move forward.
Which is weird, right? Because, like you said, this guy never does endorsements. That's the first big, surprising fact you hit.
Why this sudden interest?
Yeah, you have to wonder. And the reveal is, well, it's pretty shocking. Sterling wasn't interested in the clone at all.
Not even a little bit.
Turns out he'd placed an anonymous ad. He was looking for a woman to have his child.
Wow. Okay.
And somehow, through some kind of mix-up, Colby's name got flagged for him. He looked into her background, was apparently really impressed.
Impressed enough to choose her, even though she never even saw or responded to his ad.
That's it. He just decided.
So what's the proposition then? Forget the cologne.
It's purely business, according to Sterling. $1 million for Colby, plus a $500,000 bonus later. A temporary marriage.
Temporary marriage.
Yep. And here's the kicker. Full custody of the child goes to him. The mother just goes on her merry little way. After 6 weeks, his
It
words.
goes on her merry little way after having a baby.
Yeah.
Colby's an elementary school teacher. She loves kids. She must have been appalled.
Oh, completely. It's a callous proposal.
Yeah.
But Sterling, he has this massive bargaining chip.
He knows about the takeover threat.
Exactly. He knows Wingate Cosmetics is about to be snapped up by Morton Industries, run by James's old, hostile boss. And it's not just money on the line. It's James's whole life savings, his passion. Plus, his wife, Cynthia, is having a difficult pregnancy at the same time. The pressure is immense.
It's an impossible spot for Colby. Okay, so Sterling comes across as incredibly cold here, calculating even.
Especially when he says a child doesn't need a mother, claims he didn't need his own.
Oh.
But you dig a little deeper, and it's not just ego talking. This is clearly coming from a place of pretty profound personal trauma.
Right. It's rooted deep in his past.
He was abandoned by his own mother, Angeline, when he was only 6 weeks old.
6 weeks.
But then, the real kicker, the thing that really seemed to cement the trauma, was when he was 6 years old. He saw her in a hotel lobby, went up to her,
And
she denied knowing him, right in front of his friends, said he must be mistaken
oh my God, why?
to protect her new life. She'd married a wealthy man, Alan Chanel. They had a 1-year-old son, Nicholas,
Well,
and Angeline actually told people Nicholas was her very first child.
that's heartbreaking and incredibly damaging.
Absolutely. You can see how that kind of relational trauma would just fundamentally shape how you view the world, especially intimacy, trust, women.
It explains so much.
He does. He later tells his best friend, Kyle Garwood, that this Nicholas Cheneau is actually his half-brother, a secret he'd carried completely alone for years.
Wow. No wonder he wants an airtight contract, no emotional ties.
Exactly. He believes he was never supposed to fall in love. He's trying to control everything, avoid being hurt like that ever again, trying to prevent what he sees as inevitable abandonment.
Which brings us to this other detail, the Hamilton curse. What's that about?
It's this fascinating piece of family lore. Apparently, for generations, the Hamilton men have only had sons, no daughters born into the direct line for over 100 years.
Okay.
And alongside that, there's this really high divorce rate in the family history.
Why?
The story goes back to their lumberjack ancestors. The men were away for long stretches, and often their wives ended up leaving them.
Ah, so it's a pattern of abandonment woven into the family history itself.
Precisely. And for Sterling, who was already expecting a son, this curse just reinforces his deepest fears. It feels like destiny, like proof that women will always leave. It validates his whole transactional, keep-your-distance approach.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy awaiting to happen in his mind.
But then there's Colby.
Yeah, despite this impossible situation, Sterling's coldness, his whole worldview, she doesn't just fold.
Not at all. Her loyalty to James is just unshakable. You remember, he gave up Harvard for her.
Right. And lost his job protecting her perfume formula, which then led to him founding the company she's now trying to save. It is his life's work.
And Colby's refusal to just accept the go on her merry little way part after 6 weeks. It's a huge turning point.
She pushes back hard.
She does. She argues, based on logic and feeling, that a baby needs its mother. She even brings up breastfeeding. As I said, she researched it with Kyle's wife, Chimera.
And she proposes staying until the kid is 21? That's bold.
Incredibly bold. It completely flies in the face of his plan. What's really insightful is how her core values, she's a teacher of the year, she loves kids, she has integrity, directly clash with Sterling's whole carefully constructed, detached world.
She really starts chipping away at those walls he's built.
Definitely. He tries to stay aloof, order her around, expects her to be dazzled by the whole movie star thing.
And she just isn't. Tells him straight up she prefers Denzel Washington.
Yeah. And that the more she gets to know him as a man, the less she cares for him. She even calls him cold and heartless, just like his mother.
Ouch. That must have hit a nerve.
You'd think so. But it raises this interesting question for you listening. How does someone with just authenticity and this quiet defiance manage to get through to someone so heavily armored?
She's not like the women he probably usually encounters in his world.
Exactly. She's not a Hollywood glamour girl. She's a teacher. And her genuine nature, her spirit, even when she's uncomfortable, like buying those expensive clothes on Rodeo Drive that she cringed at the cost of it, starts to get to him.
He notices it himself, doesn't he?
He does. He admits to himself he was never supposed to fall in love. But with Colby, he feels he could easily fall in love with her. She touches him on a level that's not just physical. It's different.
So this whole arrangement, it starts to get complicated internally, but then there's the public side.
Right, the engagement. It becomes this whole public performance.
Yeah. They have to lay it on thick for the media, as the story puts it.
Yeah, Sterling makes this big announcement at a restaurant. Colby's his fiancée. There's even a staged, passionate kiss for the paparazzi.
Why the public show?
He claims it's to avoid unnecessary speculation about the marriage later. And importantly, he says he wants to prevent their future child facing the stigma of being a surrogate child.
Okay, so it's damage control, preemptively. But it must blur the lines for them too, right? Pretending in public.
Oh, absolutely. That public performance starts to bleed into their private reality. And then the media, predictably, starts fishing for a story.
They invent an affair.
Between Sterling and his close friend, the actress Diamond Swain. It's completely fabricated.
Which puts Colby in a tough spot. Does she trust him?
It's a huge test of trust. Especially because Sterling and Diamond are actually keeping a secret together.
Which is?
Diamond is secretly married to another friend of Sterling's, Jake Medeiros.
Yeah.
They're keeping it quiet for her privacy. So there is a secret, just not the one the media thinks.
Wow, talk about a tangled web.
And just when you think it can't get more complicated, Sterling's mother, Angeline, steps in.
The one who abandoned him.
The very same. She does something extraordinary to kill the fake scandal story and protect Sterling.
What does she do?
She holds her own press conference and publicly announces that she is Sterling Hamilton's mother, the secret the tabloids have been chasing for years.
Whoa, that's massive after all that time denying him.
It's a huge act of, well, maybe redemption. Definitely protection. It shows this profound shift in her. She tells Sterling she wants to right a wrong, even knowing the scrutiny she'll face. It kind of mirrors Sterling's own slow internal changes.
Okay, so things are shifting, but the original deal, the contract, it's still hanging over them.
Until it all comes out, James confronts Colby. He's heard accusations from Homer Morton, the rival trying to take over, that James basically sold his sister off to Sterling to save the company.
And James is furious, obviously.
Yeah. So Colby finally has to tell him the truth, the whole truth, that she agreed to have Sterling's babies specifically to save Wingate Cosmetics. But she also tells James, point blank, I can't give up my child.
That's the moment of truth, isn't it, for everyone?
It really is.
Yeah.
For Colby, for Sterling, even for James. Initially, James wants her to leave Sterling. But then he sees how deep her feelings are, how determined she is. And he basically says, okay, handle it your way. He trusts her.
And Sterling, he's away when this is happening.
He's on a plane, flying home, sees the damaging headlines about the supposed affair in his mother's conference, and he has his own big realization.
He loves her.
Yep, he finally admits it to himself, just mutters, hell, this wasn't supposed to happen. But then he decides he's not going to be another Hamilton man who loses the woman he loves. He's going to fight for her.
So how does it all wrap up? What happens when he gets back?
He goes straight to Colby and tells her he loves her, and then he drops the bombshell.
Which is...
Before his plane even landed, he called Edward Stewart, his lawyer.
And told him.
Told him to destroy the contract. And the prenup they'd signed, tear him up, gone.
Wow. So he completely voids the original deal.
Completely. He tells Colby, so now, Colby, you're stuck with me forever.
That's quite a turnaround from go on your merry little way.
It's a total reversal. The transactional agreement is just wiped out, replaced by actual love, actual commitment.
And the Hamilton curse.
Broken. Beautifully broken. They later have a daughter, Chandler, the first Hamilton girl in generations.
And Wingate Cosmetics.
It thrives. Sterling gives it his endorsement, but this time it's genuine, coming from a place of connection, not just a deal.
So this whole deep dive, it really shows how, I don't know, how genuine connection and just sticking to your beliefs can change everything, even for someone as cynical and hurt as Sterling started out.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
What an incredible journey, right? Into loyalty, connection, how we overcome past hurts.
Yeah, it really shows that even if things start out purely transactional like this did.
Which couldn't be more transactional.
Right. Even then, real empathy, real steadfastness. It can create these bonds that are way stronger than any piece of paper.
Mm-hmm. And it really highlights how, facing your own history, letting yourself be vulnerable, that's what opens the door. It's scary, but it's where the real connection happens.
The mix of the family legacy, Sterling's trauma, Colby's quiet strength. It all weaves together into this powerful story about love, really, and forgiveness.
Forgiveness of others, and maybe even forgiveness of oneself.
Okay, so here's something provocative for you to think about. If a relationship that literally starts with a contract, a business deal, can turn into real love, a real family, what does that tell us about the foundations we think relationships need?
That's a great question. Maybe the starting point isn't always what matters most.
Maybe the most unexpected beginnings can actually lead to the most profound connections.
Indeed. And think about how those deep patterns, like that Hamilton curse, finally got broken. It wasn't some big dramatic gesture in the end.
No, it was Colby's quiet determination.
Mutual respect developing over time. And ultimately, the courage both of them had to rewrite their own stories, step off the expected path.
It's a powerful reminder, I think, that our destiny maybe, it's more in our own hands than we sometimes think.
Beautifully put, truly self-authored.